Hey, remember John Lyons. He's going to be a champion for conservative values in the Colorado Senate.
Thanks for the plug, Brad.
Not a problem, John. Well, you're in my district, so hey.
If anybody wants advice about the judges, I know you all know the judges really well. You can telephone me. I have done some research on that.
You see, you just walk in and the room erupts into applause. Okay, I know that you're on a tight schedule. I'm not going to do an introduction except this is our Congressman Mike Kaufman, one of the good guys.
You know, it is an honor to be running for office that encompasses the entire city of Aurora. And I grew up not far from you, and came back home from the Marine Corps in 1983, and in 1985 had an idea that we ought to all get together once a month as Republicans, and so started the Aurora Republican Forum. And good to see it's been going on since then. And let me tell you, your work in this campaign is so important, and not just this campaign. We've got other folks running for office here like Cindy Akery that we need to help out. But I can tell you that this is the first time in my lifetime that I fear for the future of the country. And I mean, I've been in some, you know, I was in the Army during the Cold War, and, you know, first Gulf War, Iraq War, but I was always confident about the country, that we were on the right track, in the right direction. And this is the first time I don't feel that way. And I feel that this election will really determine what path this country goes down. And whether it goes down a path that is very different from what we've ever gone down before. A path of debt and decline. That we abandon the principles of limited constitutional government in favor of a very powerful central government, much bigger than the American people can afford. And that will take our liberties. And so it is, I can't impress upon you, and I believe that there's a lot of races, and mine is going to be very close either way. And so at this point in time, it's really in your hands. And I can tell you, everything will count. It's talking to your neighbor. And if a Republican, seeing if they got their vote out. And if they're an independent or a Democrat, talking them to go our way. But you know, the little things matter. The big things are done. You can turn on the TV set and see all those ugly ads, that's done. And that is what it is. And in Colorado, I think is, I mean, it seems like in so many races, mine and Mitt Romney is just kind of dead even. But I can tell you this congressional district is the battleground district for the state. And the state is a battleground district for the presidential race. Whoever wins this congressional district on the presidential side will win Colorado. I just don't think mathematically, if we look back at the history, it just doesn't happen. So again, you know, there's only we got next Tuesday to go. Tuesday after next. I wish it was next Tuesday. To get this over with and make every minute count. That's all I can say. Make every minute count. I need you. Mitt Romney needs you, and the country needs you. And Cindy Akery needs you, and other folks. Who else is running for office? Oh my God! Jim, all you guys. Herb. All right, I see everybody back here. And so you got a lot of great candidates in this room, and a lot is at the line. I mean, in the state legislature too, and I know they're going to speak to you, and about how you know what a Democrat-controlled legislature with a Democrat governor can do to the state of Colorado. It's going to be like Washington, D.C. in the first 2 years I was there, where they controlled the House and the Senate and the White House. Look what we got for it. look what we got for it. So, this is war, you know. I'm gonna deputize you as all being Marines.
Oh, wait a minute, Air Force. You say Air Force.
Now, let me just get this straight. Is the Air Force a branch of military service? I'm going to deputize you today as the United States Marines for purposes of this campaign, so get out and fight. Thank you.
Wait. Cindy said you had to leave at 10 after, or what, quarter after?
We've got our next event, we just have to get down to it, if we can, we move that one to our
Well,
board.
maybe answer just a few
Oh, okay,
questions.
go ahead, that's
Hey,
fine.
Congressman, even though you didn't qualify for the Air Force. Your damn opponent has a happy thing of picking up your yard signs I put out.
Yeah, I know,
Yours and Romney, I put them out around our area, and then they walk away the next day.
yeah. That's great. You know, and I think what's gonna be fun in debate, coming up, we got one more debate in Highlands Ranch, encourage you to come down on the 30th of October. His record is absolutely stunning. You know, he never talks about his record, and he never really talks about my record. But in this debate, we're gonna talk about his record in the state legislature. And some of his bills at a time when, you know, Colorado was suffering in 2009 and 2010 with his economy. I mean, he had I think one bill was to put a tax on plastic bags in grocery stores. The other bill he introduced, the last big bill he introduced was absolutely weird. It was concerning discrimination against bikers in terms of what they wear, going into restaurants and bars. Yeah, I think that's a pretty big issue.
Yeah.
That's probably the civil rights issue of the 21st century. I mean, it's absolutely stunning. I mean, here's a guy who should not be around sharp objects, heavy machinery, or legislation. So it's going to be a fun debate. It's going to be a fun debate. What else you got?
Just a quick note on
Yeah.
the race. Congressman Kaufman, thank you for running positive ads. Thank you for running something that introduces you and shows our vision of the future, as opposed to the non-stop attack of your opponents, because I think that makes a huge difference.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else here? Yeah, Jim.
I have a question that nobody seems to be able to answer. We had a $1 trillion budget, and we added $1 trillion to it, TARP, and then we added another $1 trillion to it for the stimulus. But all of a sudden, the budget just stayed there at $3.8
Right.
trillion. Is that just because of continuing resolutions?
No, I think what happened is, the reality is this, that what Barack Obama did in his first 2 years was to plus up a lot of entitlement programs. And so the only way you can reform and so the problem that we have in Washington DC is 57% of our spending is what's called mandatory spending, and those are a variety of entitlement programs. We don't, once you lay the foundation for an entitlement program, whatever it is, you no longer appropriate for it, it just drives itself. And so you've got, and then if you add interest on the debt, you've got about 2/3 of the budget just driving itself. And so we're debating right now, we're down to debating 38% of spending. You know, and that's stunning. And you know, again, I think this elections matter. And it's going to be about, in the last year of the Bush administration, in 2008, the deficit was a record deficit. It was bad. It was $465 billion, and that included TARP. And that included, you know, engaging in war and everything else. But the first year of the Obama administration, it was $1.4 trillion. And it's averaged about $1.3 trillion every single year. And in his budget, as far as the eye can see, it's over $1 trillion. Now, he does some math, he does some weird stuff to try and get it like 999 or something like that, but it's over $1 trillion. The assumptions are totally, growth at 4%, we're growing between probably around 1 or 1.5%, which is very anemic. You need 3% growth to do anything in